I'm wondering about action and like taking action, and if an action like a seemingly non like innocuous action, like performing something, or I was thinking like asking out a girl or something. It doesn't really have to do with the truth, but if you're like afraid of doing it and then you do it anyway, is that kind of a like coming closer to less separation in yourself?
Yes. However, it's a very common problem with young boys. It's a sign of youth. Regarding asking the girl. Yeah. So welcome to the club. Usually they know without you asking.
What do you mean?
They know every. They know everything about us. We know nothing about them.
Yeah, that's true.
You see, we have to start from this, from those premises. My teachers used to say, it's always the girl who chooses. So you don't have to worry. You have to be open to the signals. That's all. Be open. You don't have to ask. You see what I mean? Just be open to the signals.
So you don't have to ask in the end. You can just...
Your choice,
let it happen.
Once you are open to the signals, your choice, which is beautiful, is to ignore them or to act accordingly. But at the end of the day, you are the one who is being asked. Are you getting my drift here?
Yeah, I get that.
Okay,
for sure.
so
for sure. I think it's like...
So in this way, it removes the problem. You see what I mean?
Yeah. It's like we think we're in control, but we're not. So
just be open to the signals.
But my question wasn't really about like the.
Yeah, but
it's very interesting. But
I took this opportunity to be of service.
Yeah. Well, thank. Well, I mean, while we're on that sort of a tangent, though, I was thinking that probably the hardest yoga is talking to a girl that you're attracted to.
Yeah, that's true.
So is it just practice that allows us to bring?
Yeah. First, you put a chair in front of you. You talk to the chair. Then you talk to your cat or to your dog. Then you talk to very old ladies.
Great.
And then, when you have a beautiful young girl, you are as stupid as before.
I feel better about this already.
You say, I still know nothing about girls, but I know some things about boys.
So I mean, in another example, like say like performing on stage, or like anything where there's some fear, does that take you towards, like I've heard that there's in India like the path of action, I think, or the yoga of action, so is that a way to the truth?
Yeah, regarding, for instance, performing on stage, I have a few comments. There are two kinds of stage fright. One is in fact useful for the performance, and the other one is detrimental for the performance. The one which is useful for the performance is one in which you, before the performance, you are aware of somehow the seriousness of it, that you want to do your best to serve the piece, right? To be as transparent as possible, as good as possible, whatever. And usually, this thing focuses you, gather the energy, so that you don't off-road during the performance. And this type of stage fright, once the performance begins, stops. It is not ego-related, it is not ignorance-related. The other one, which is ignorance-related, is to be afraid, what are people going to think of me? What are the critics, the reviewer in the hall going to think of me? What are my peers going to think of me? What is the audience going to think of me, etc.? And this stage fright is related to me, as if I were the doer, the performer. And this one is paralyzing. So usually, I mean, as any specific fear, one way to get rid of a specific fear is through practice. In this way, we don't get rid of the fundamental existential fear, but through practice, we get rid of this fear. That's why young kids who are learning performing arts, they are put on stage at a very young age, so that they get used to it. So that, in a sense, stage is their home. They are used to it, they feel at home on stage. However, there is another recipe for that. And my teacher was telling me that when he was, I never heard her, but he heard Maria Callas performing on stage, and he said that she was communicating with the audience before she would sing. In other words, she was expanded there. One musician whom I have experienced like that is the violinist Isaac Stern. Isaac Stern on stage was so natural, so comfortable. He was like your daddy, He was coming here and like saying, okay, kids, we are going to have fun together. We are going to enjoy it. And the reason is that I am enjoying it myself, and I'm going to share that with you. And there was this welcoming, that was communicating itself, this absence of separation. So the trick that can be used is the exercise we do it of expansion. When you come on stage, to embrace the audience first, to establish this connection of oneness with the audience before you start the performance. And in fact, often actors, for instance, who have this quality, the way it is experienced is as presence. You know, some actors, we say, this actor has presence on stage. You know, and it's because they are present to the audience. They are there. They have this liveliness. You see, they want to communicate. They are not in there playing their game for themselves, but they are there. Presence. You know, stability also. Stability, presence. And that is, this exercise of openness helps a lot in this direction.
And the first type of stage fright that you mentioned, where you feel the seriousness of it or the importance of it for yourself.
This one you don't have to worry about it because it's a natural phenomenon that fulfills its mission and that disappears as the performance begins.
And does it feel like the same as the other one? Is it still stage fright, or is it?
You see, there is a moment when, in this moment before you perform, that you feel the silence, you feel the expectation in the room. You know, they don't know. You know, let's say you play in your theatrical play. That's your first entrance. You're a new character. You are a new actor. They don't know you. You see what I mean? So there is this openness in the audience, you know, and you feel it as silence, right? You see this moment of silence that I am alluding to. That there are all these people here waiting what you are going to say, waiting what's going to happen. And this silence has some solemnity to it. You're following me? It has something
I
serious
know what you mean.
about it. Yeah.
And I think even in a comedy it would...
Even in a comedy, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That was very helpful.